Today we want to spend a few minutes talking about the 12th sign, the 12th not sure sign that a work of God's Spirit has happened in somebody's life. Edwards spends a good part of his book, Religious Affections, talking about things that people would see happening in their life, and they would say, I think, since this has happened in my life, I think I'm really am a Christian. And Edwards would say on these 12 things, well, these things might indicate that you're a Christian, but they don't prove that you're a Christian. And this 12th one is that I know I'm a Christian. So if someone comes into the pastor's office and says, I know I'm a Christian because other Christians, people who are Christians around me, think I'm a Christian. And if they think I'm a Christian, I must be, right? And what Edwards wants to say is maybe, I mean, certainly there's a unity and a love and a fellowship that grows between fellow Christians. And so we ought to expect that Christians will love other Christians and think that other Christians really are Christians. And yet sometimes good Christians can be deceived. And good Christians can be wrong. And one of the things that's true is that only God really knows our heart. And he speaks this passage in 1 Samuel where he says that man can really only look at outward appearance, but the Lord himself looks at the heart. And the Bible's teaching is that really only God knows your heart. And so a well-meaning Christian could be wrong about the status of your soul, whether or not you're a Christian. And so this particular part of the book, this particular 12th not sure sign, instead of speaking mainly to the one who could be deceived, that is the potential convert, this one is really more directed to the Christians. It's saying, Christians, look, when you talk to those new converts, to those who are professing faith in Christ, you need to be discerning and a little bit slow and very discerning before you begin to say, I know for sure that you are a Christian. And so the way he begins the section, he's talking about sometimes Christians will look at some new convert and say, well, this new convert, this person who made a new profession of faith, this person talks about the Lord a lot and talks about the Bible a lot and seems really nice. And so I know, the Christians would say, I know that person is really a Christian. And the truth is that these are not signs that the Bible gives us. And one of the strong things that Edwards wants to point to is to say, the Bible has given us a way to know if somebody really is a Christian. And a bit it is about what they talk about, but the bigger thing is their fruit. So there is actually a difference between love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's a difference between those and then talking about God. Right? We think those who love God will talk about God, but the mere talking about God does not prove fruit. And so he wants to make a sharp distinction between those things that people that have fruit might do and then the actual fruit itself. And he also wants to talk to believers, and he wants to say, look, you do not have this gift of, there's no Bible gift of, you know for sure that somebody else is a Christian. That's not a Bible gift. That we can see. So you need to back off in terms of the way that you assuredly say, I know this new convert really is converted. And you need to be very discerning to not just say, well, if he did have fruit, he would also do these other things. Look for the actual fruit itself, not just the things that accompany the fruit. So the question then comes up, what should we do? How should we treat this new convert? And for Edwards, he wants to direct your attention in a couple important ways. First, know that as you deal with this person who's made a new profession of faith, the first thing you want to do is look specifically for the spiritual fruit. Secondly, he would say, know that there is such a thing as being deceived. That is, the individual could be deceived about their conversion, or that you could be deceived, right? So he points to the wheat and the tares. It's possible that something looks good, it looks very close to the real thing, and it's not the real thing. And so we have to be slow to give our judgment. And then combined with that, he would urge folks to not withhold love for that person. He calls on us not to be cold to the person that makes a profession of faith until we're really sure, but to be kind and have love for them, to give them the judgment of charity, to not speak to them as if we are sure that they're not a Christian until they prove it to us, but to have love for them. And yet, to be a bit reserved in the way that we begin to speak about assurance that this person saved. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing that Edwards wants us to remember is that we won't know for sure. There's a possibility that we could be deceived, and we want to be mindful of that.